Question number 8. In Indian political system, which one is supreme? The correct answer is D. The Constitution is supreme in the Indian political system. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. It lays down the framework defining fundamental political principles, establishes the structure, procedures, powers and duties of government institutions and sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and the duties of the citizens. Question number 2. The concept of judicial review in India has been adopted from the Constitution of. The correct answer is B. The concept of judicial review in the Indian Constitution has been adopted from the Constitution of the United States. Judicial review is the power of the courts to examine the actions of the legislative, executive and administrative arms of the government and to determine whether such actions are consistent with the Constitution. Actions judged inconsistent are declared unconstitutional and therefore null and void. Question number 3. The system of judicial review exists in. The correct answer is C. The system of judicial review exists in both India and the USA. Question number 4. Which of the following characteristics is common between the federal system of India and America? The correct answer is D. The characteristic of Federal Court for Interpretation of Constitution is common in both Indian and American federal systems. While in the United States there is one judicial system at the union level and another at the state level. There is the absence of 3 lists in the Constitution of the USA. The Indian Constitution provides single citizenship, whereas the US Constitution provides dual citizenship. Thus option D is the correct answer. Question number 5. The feature of federal system of the Indian Constitution is inspired by the Constitution of. The correct answer is A. The Constitution of India is federal in nature. The concept of a federal system in our Constitution is inspired from the Constitution of Canada. Question number 6. The concept of a union of states in the Indian Constitution has been derived from. The correct answer is C. The concept of a union of states in the Indian Constitution has been derived from the British North American Act 1867, the Constitution of Canada. According to Article 1(1) of the Indian Constitution, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. According to Constituent Assembly Debates Vol. 7. The drafting committee considers that following the language of the British North America Act 1867, it would not be appropriate to describe India as a union although its constitution may be federal in structure. Question number 7. Concurrent list included in Indian Constitution is given by. The correct answer is B. The concurrent list is borrowed from the Constitution of Australia. In this list, those items are included on which both union and state have right to make law. It is in the 7th schedule of the Constitution, which originally included 47 items. Now increased to 52 items as item No. 114, 174, 17b, 20a, 33 were added through amendments. Question number 8. The concept of the directive principles of state policy in the Indian Constitution has been adopted from the Constitution of. The correct answer is B. The inclusion of directive principles of state policy in the Indian Constitution is inspired by the directive principles given in the Constitution of Ireland. These provisions are mentioned in Part 4, Article 36 to Article 51 of the Constitution. The directive principles of state policy are not enforceable in a court of law, but it lays down the principles which are considered fundamental in the governance of the country, making it the duty of the state to apply these principles in making law to establish a just society in the country. Question number 9. The concept of the directive principles of state policy in the Indian Constitution was borrowed from the Constitution of. The correct answer is C. Part 4 of the Indian Constitution discusses the directive principles of state policy, DPSP, under Articles 36 से 51. They are taken from the Irish Constitution. The state possesses a responsibility to apply the directive principles of state policy outlined in the Constitution when enacting legislation, even though they are not subject to legal challenges. Within the boundaries of its economic capacity and development, the state shall direct its policy in a way that secures the rights of all men and women to a sufficient means of subsistence, equitable wages for equal work, and effective provisions for ensuring the right to employment, education, and public assistance in the event of unemployment, old age, illness, or disablement, or in other cases of justifiable needs. Question number 10. In giving representation to talent, experience, and service in the composition of the Council of States, the constitution makers of India were influenced by the example of. The correct answer is A. The concept of formation of the Rajya Sabha by representation, through nomination to talent, qualification, experience and service is influenced by the Irish Republic. Question number 11. The concept of fundamental duties has been taken from. The correct answer is C. The concept of fundamental duties is inspired by the Russian Constitution and was added in our Constitution by 42 Amendment Act 1976. The recommendation for fundamental duties was made by the Swaran Singh Committee. Question number 12. Assertion A. The Constitution of India has become the longest one. Reason R. The chapter on fundamental rights has been borrowed from the model of American Constitution. Choose the correct answer using the code given below. The correct answer is B. The Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution of the world. Originally it had 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules. The chapter on fundamental rights has been borrowed from the Constitution of the USA, but this is not the only reason responsible for lengthy constitution. Thus assertion A and reason R both are correct, but R does not explain A correctly. Question number 13. The concept of fundamental rights as incorporated in the Indian Constitution has been adopted from. The correct answer is C. Fundamental rights have been incorporated in Part 3, Article 12 to 35 of the Indian Constitution. This provision has been borrowed from the Constitution of the United States of America. It includes right to equality, Art. 14 से 18, right to freedom, Art. 19 से 22, right against exploitation, Art. 23-24, right to freedom of religion, Art. 25 से 28, culture and educational rights, Art. 29 to 30, right to constitutional remedies, Art. 32, the post of Vice President and independence of judiciary has also been taken from the Constitution of United States of America. Question number 14. From which country the Indian Constitution has taken reference for the idea of the fundamental rights? The correct answer is B. The framers of the Constitution took inspiration for a number of its aspects from other international constitutions. The United States Constitution serves as the paradigm for India's fundamental rights. The essential rights that everyone is entitled to in order to live with honor and integrity are known as fundamental rights. Part 3 of the Indian Constitution contains the fundamental rights. The judiciary has the upper hand in interpreting the Constitution. Thus, if an order issued by the legislature or the executive branch of government conflicts with the nation's constitution, the judiciary has the authority to overturn it. Question number 15. The tradition of written constitution began from which of the following countries? The correct answer is D. The Constitution of the United States of America is the first written constitution of the world. It is the world's shortest written constitution, which includes only 7 articles.